Welcome back to our YouTube channel. As Ekyooto team would like to thank you for subscribing and for liking our videos. We are so grateful. So we're talking about the impact of COVID-19 on rural agricultural extension services, and we're going to be wrapping up today. So we hope and believe that you managed to learn something from what we've been presenting. So when COVID-19 hit the world, many countries and economies were affected by this pandemic. And in order to protect the health of the people and to contain the virus, African governments, they responded by closing schools, gatherings were banned, social distancing was supposed to be maintained, none or less essential services and businesses were also closed. And travel restrictions were put in place, and people were not allowed to travel from one country to another. And in some countries, people were not allowed to travel from one city to another, and even travel within the cities was also restricted. And people were supposed to stay where they were. So from the previous video, we explained the meaning of extension services and their importance in the development of agriculture and our rural communities. And now there's a need to assess by how much this pandemic has affected the delivery of these services, the delivery of extension services to our communities. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Team Ekyooto Bataka, and we are still taking you through the impact of COVID-19 on rural agriculture extension services. I hope you have appreciated the nature and the role of agriculture extension services to the agriculture sectors in Africa. So let us now dive into the impact. The major impact of COVID-19 on rural agriculture extension services was on access. Remember that in the lockdown, people were not moving and were not meeting. And our traditional agriculture extension systems and approaches involve the client and the agents. So because there was no meeting, there was no movement, access of farmers to these extension services was cut off. Many farmers in Africa, as we know, are not so well conversant with the technologies like Zoom, where they could access this information. So many of them by then would not get access to these services. So since access was cut off, programs that were scheduled to take place did not take place. So these programs had to be pushed to a further date, and some of those ones meant pushing further the development and transformation of those rural areas. So we know that our traditional extension approaches involve meeting these farmers in places, say in farmer field schools, in demonstration gardens, where farmers interact with the agents to learn. All these were not possible. For example, in Uganda, extension agents are involved in this delivery and distribution of quality inputs. And by the time COVID-19 hit, we are at the start. The whole of Eastern Africa was at the onset of a major season, rainy season. So that season it comes with extensive labor activities. And these labor activities are facilitated by the knowledge and technologies that come with the extension agents. So all these were missed. That interaction where agents come with the technologies, agents bring knowledge and skills to the farmers on the onset of those major seasons did not happen. And the distribution of inputs, for example, done by extension agents in Uganda could not take place. So most of those inputs were stored in the stores. For example, the seedlings which had been procured were not distributed because we were always fearing to transmit COVID-19 in the community. So remember, the problem was on access. So many actors reacted in a way because they had to keep at least finding and innovating ways to share information and technologies with their clients, the farmers. So many actors had to innovate around. And among the means that many actors adopted to use was we saw an increase in the use of video conferencing means. For example, Zoom, Google Meet, webinars were many which actors could get their farmers, those who were well conversant with technology, and share with them in that way. Also, surveys indicated that there was an increase in radio programs and television programs on agriculture aired out. So many farmers, because they could not meet and travel, they had to switch on to either radio programs concerning agriculture, technologies and information, or TV programs. Some actors could share on social media platforms, for example, WhatsApp, Facebook, information that could be used by their clients. Others had to do phone calls. You know, some of these farmers could directly contact the actors on phone calls if they had inquiries, and also others would do messages. Also, we had other actors interacting with clients on applications were designed, e-extension platforms, which were designed that bring together farmers and extension agents on this platform, where farmers could raise questions and then they receive instant answers from actors who are online. So that is the way that actors and farmers had to innovate around to cope up with the new normal brought about by COVID-19. So this shows us that there was a positive impact of COVID-19. The ICT technologies are coming up to show us that they have potential to reduce the time spent by an actor moving to a farmer and a farmer moving into a meeting. So there was increasing use of ICT services to bridge that gap brought about by restrictions in movement and restrictions on meetings. So on a positive note, we saw an increase in the use of ICT services to empower the farmers. And we know that if this trend can increase, the efficiency and effectiveness of disseminating technologies and knowledge to farmers will increase. So, and also government realized that they need to invest more into the ICT services to be able to quicken the way rural people access knowledge, access skills, and access technologies. So on a positive note, those ones were the impact. Thank you very much.